Hi everyone, I'm Chad. Welcome to Maker's Bench. This is another sketch constraint video, and this time we're going to talk about the midpoint constraint. The midpoint constraint is actually one that's new to me. We don't have that one in Inventor. That's my program I use. I make a living using that program. So with Fusion, there's a few things that are different. This is one of those things that are different. So I'm not entirely used to it, but I have figured it out, of course, and it is a pretty simple, straightforward constraint. So I'm just going to put two lines here. Now, midpoint of this point, or I want this point to be on the midpoint of this line. I always want it to be on the midpoint, so I'll use a midpoint constraint. I click on the point, I click anywhere on the line, and it places the point on the midpoint of that line. Now as I change this size of this line and move that around, that line is going to stay right on the midpoint. Real easy to see how that works. It also works with things like, you can make a circle, and I can say that I want the circle, the center point of the circle, to be on the midpoint of this line. And the same thing. Now as I move this around, it stays right there on the midpoint. That's really it. I wonder if we can do, I haven't just thought about this now. Let's try something. I'm going to put a line here. Midpoint of this line and the midpoint of this line. Yeah. So you can do it with the lines themselves. So line to line, you can put the midpoints on each other, and those midpoints will be locked in there so that the midpoints are always intersecting at each other's midpoint. So line to line, otherwise it's point to line, center point to line, end point to line, that type of thing. But that's how you use that midpoint constraint. So if you have any questions, comments, please put them in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and do that. And that's it for the midpoint constraint, and we'll talk to you next time.